Welcome, everybody, to the September issue of the Preuss Sports Podcast. My name is Nate, and the topic of today is the San Diego Padres, who have just come off of their 4-game series against the Arizona Diamondbacks, of which they won 3 out of the 4-game series. The first game was a very dead game from San Diego, as Shamanaya had a decent start with 5 innings, 3 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, and the offense only had 3 hits and 1 error, while the Diamondbacks had 4 runs, so they lost a 4-0 shutout game. And after the game, Bob Melvin was extremely pissed, and he had a player meeting. And then after that, before the game on Saturday, the players Before the game on Saturday, the players held a player meeting discussing on working together as a team, and instead of playing for individual value. And boy, did they go ham. That day on Saturday, On Saturday, they went ham, smashing the Diamondbacks and Madison Bumgarner and beating them 12-3 with 2 home runs from Brandon Drury Brandon Drury hit a home run in the first inning, and then a home run from Austin Nola in the second, and then another homer from Brandon, a RBI single from Juan Soto in the top of the 5th, an RBI singles from Jake and Azócar on the top of the 6th, a sac fly from Nola, an RBI single from Azócar, and an RBI double from Juan Soto, and a bomb from Ha-Seong Kim to put the game in another. And the next game, which Joe Musgrove started for, was a 2-0 shutout for the Padres to win it. And then Yu Darvish started the final game, which ended in a 6-1 beating of the Diamondbacks. So Blake Snell, Joe Musgrove, and Yu Darvish combined for 18 innings of 1-run ball with a combined 24 strikeouts. And with that, Yu Darvish was named NL Player of the Week with 14 shutout innings, only allowing 1 hit and 3 walks. And another topic was Juan Soto yesterday, who had an absolute balling, man. He went 3 for 4 with a home run, an RBI double, and a single. And after a very hard beginning to San Diego and a very bad slump where he was hitting below 200, Soto has looked like his old self, his old 2020 MVP caliber form. And the question is whether or not he gets back into that form for the playoffs, if we do make the playoffs, or to finish off this regular season and even the next season, which I think definitely, Juan Soto is a generational talent, and I think that this is he's just trying to adjust to San Diego, and I think that's it. And the next part is Jose Azócar, who, coming back from AAA El Paso, he has been hitting .468. He has been incredible as a hitter and alright as a fielder. And with him as his natural position being an outfielder, and Trent Grisham hasn't been the best. Although he has 17 home runs in this season, he's been hitting below 200. And we need slugging, yes, but we also need a productive outfielder. But the other reason why Trent hasn't been outside of this lineup has been because of his Gold Glove defense. So the question is whether or not Azócar takes over as the starting center fielder, and that Trent becomes a platoon guy and will be a defensive sub. And so the topic of today, which is the Padres playing against the Cardinals, and that tomorrow Sunshine will start against Adam Wainwright. And another question is, will Albert Pujols hit his 700th homer in this series? Albert Pujols, who has been one of the best sluggers in this era of baseball, is in his last dance season. And with coming off of an incredible August where he hit 8 homers, and the last few series where he finally beat Alex Rodriguez to become 4th all-time in home runs all time, Albert Pujols will play against the Padres, especially since Sean Manaea is going to be one of the starters. And this is a crucial series for San Diego, as they only have a 2.5 game lead against the Brewers. So I think it's a question of how good is our starting rotation going to be against the St. Louis Cardinals, who have Paul Goldschmidt, who's having an MVP season. He's going for the Triple Crown. And Nolan Arenado, who has been incredible as the third baseman for St. Louis. O'Neill, Edman, and Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina are going to play tomorrow. And so the rotation for the series against St. Louis is going to be Mike Clevinger, Sean Manaea, and Blake Snell. And the Padres right now have a 2.5 game lead over the Milwaukee Brewers, who today are going to have a 3-game series against the New York Mets, which today their starting pitcher, Corbin Burns, is going to face Max Scherzer. And these last few series against the Cardinals, the Rockies, the Dodgers, the White Sox, and the Giants, and the following series for the Brewers, are going to determine whether or not we make it to the playoffs, and whether or not AJ Preller stays as the general manager of the San Diego Padres. So whether or not AJ Preller stays is dependent on whether or not we make it to the playoffs. And I think that Preller might go. He might. It just depends on whether or not we make the playoffs. Like, you've made a lot of bad trades. You've switched. You traded Ty France, who has been great for the Seattle Mariners, and Andres Munoz for Austin Nola, who has been decent or just meh. Austin Adams, who's always injured. Dan Altavia, who is injured as well. And it's just like we just got fleeced. Then he's also made some great trades, like the one where we got Fernando Tatis Jr., Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, Joe Musgrove. A lot of the best players in our rotation, we've got them from the trades, like in the last 2 years. In the last 2 years, we've gotten most of our pitching rotation from the trades that Preller has made. And that we've made good decisions on signing Manny as a free agent. And we've gotten rid of Hosmer. We've traded for Juan Soto. We've gotten Juan Soto, a generational talent. And then we got Brandon Drury, who's been a great. He's been the best player we've gotten from that trade deadline. And Josh Bell, he's been playing like a bum. Josh Hader, he started off playing like a bum, but ever since he had that save in Friday in City Connect night, he's been great. He's been striking out. He's been striking out batters. He's been getting the saves. He's been clicking up them saves. And what's happening with the Padres is just inconsistency. This season has been a constant emotional roller coaster. You've had ups and downs. We've had those ups and downs, such as winning, like sweeping the Giants. We've had losing streaks. We've had losing streaks, winning streaks. We've lost against the Dodgers. We got swept by the Dodgers. We've gotten these big name players. These big name players weren't performing. Now these big name players are performing now. And this entire season has been crazy. And we don't know whether or not this season will lead to the playoffs or another collapse. But I'm holding on for us going to the playoffs and making it far. Because we've got the team on paper to make the World Series. I genuinely believe that. We've got Manny Machado, Juan Soto, Josh Bell, Brandon Drury, Jake Cronenworth, Hassan Kim, Jurickson Profar, Jose Azocar, Blake Snell, who's always performed great in the playoffs, Joe Musgrove, who's been an absolute bulldog of a pitcher. He has that bulldog mentality. Yu Darvish, who can just mix it up everything. 11 different pitches. He can go for the fastball, two-seamer, supreme, curveball, changeup, knuckle curve, everything. But it's just been a story of inconsistency of the pitching rotation, inconsistency of the offense, inconsistency of the bullpen. And we've had great arms out of the bullpen. Robert Suarez, he had a great season back from Japan. I'd say in his rookie season, well, this is technically his rookie season, but he's 30 already. Nick Martinez, he's been great. He has been able to be that guy who can be a good starting pitcher, and he can be absolutely great as a bullpen arm. So I see that in the next few weeks, we'll see whether or not this team can make it. Or if not, then I'm just probably going to come back onto this podcast pissed as hell. Alright, that's been it for the September issue of the podcast. I'll see you later.